This is the page that's out there at sixfigures.yourbestgroove.com. And I'm going to show you, by the way, how I did that subdomain to put this site on it as well. So I built this little site in 10, 15 minutes, 12 minutes actually, and created it with these forms in it. So this right here is a code embed with a GrooveMail form. This right here is actually an element called GrooveMail forms. Interestingly enough, GrooveMail form. And so I'll go over and show you again how I set up the forms in GrooveMail. So let's start from the top. All right, so we're going to go to GrooveMail and go back to the settings that I did. So first of all, I set up a tag that I'm going to be able to use for people who fill out that form. It's going to automatically add that tag to their record in GrooveMail. So let's go look at how we do that. We click on tags, and then I can limit it to the category. I created a category called webinars and presentations, and then I created a tag with the name of our special guest and set that up. Then the second thing I did is I set up a list, and the list is called webinars and presentations. So two things that happen when they fill out the form. I'm going to go down to the form now. When they fill out the form, they get added to a specific list in my GrooveMail database, and they get this tag. So let's go look at the form and how that's set up. All right. So let me just look real quick. We're good. Okay, good. All right. So on the form, well, let's just do it this way. I did a new form. Let's hit that way. I did save and continue. And it had first name on it. I removed that by clicking on it and deleting it. Then I changed new header, changed the header to say what I want, and changed this, right? And then the button says send. At this point, I can't edit the color as far as I know. So I'm going to say new button text. All right. And that's the editing that happens here. I say next. All right. So we have all of these tabs up here that we can define for GrooveMail forms. So select the list you want to assign to. So again, remember I created that list called webinars and presentations. So when somebody fills this form out, they're going to go into that list, and I could choose any list. I can choose multiple lists. I probably should have chosen default as well and Your Best Groove. So this is going to put them in as many lists as you check on that box. And then the default is don't assign tags. I am going to assign a tag. The one I just created shows up at the top. That tag is going to be assigned to everybody who fills out the form. Sequence would be if I had a welcome, and then an hour later, did you get the email? 2 days later, we can send a text message. Those are sequences that I'm not setting up today. So I did not subscribe to any sequence. I did a single opt-in, which is you put your email in and you're on the list. A double opt-in is you get the verification email. I'm not doing double opt-in right now because I didn't see it working not that long ago. David, if you're on here, maybe it's working now and I just missed it. Then I told it where I want it to go. And so in this case, I did sixfigures.yourbestgroove.com/thank-you. So, whoops, I got to do HTTPS. So then I was telling it after they fill it out, what's the page they're going to go to. And I clicked send by email. So you have a welcome settings. You can either send an email or don't send an email. I am going to send an email. I'm going to send it from Kevin at Your Best Groove. I'm going to put a subject in here, do a preview, and then I can build out my email. So I could say we didn't capture the name, right? But if we did, we could say first name, welcome, and we can add images to this. So I could have put this image on it. I think we still can't resize those images unless somebody tells me differently. Yeah, and basically we set up an email, and I did hear Donna say not too long ago that this is going to really get some upgrades on the editor here. So I set it up, and then I say next. Now I have the the code that I can embed over here. And so this is where the code goes. And so what I did is I did a code embed, and of course you have a cog, you paste your code. If I were to, for example, put that one in here, you'll see that it did not change it. I apparently have the same code copied. I didn't copy that new code. But so what I was showing is you can do it via code embed, or you can do it via this element over here called GrooveMail form. And when you put the GrooveMail form element on, you can configure, choose the form, and where you want to go for the thank you. Now, the reason I didn't keep the element form on the page is you can see this one has the details, the header, and keep me up to date and so forth. And this one also has, yes, I want more details. As far as I know, unless there's something in the configuring, you can't change this from subscribe. And you could create a block that was white. You could create it to look like the one below, except you can't change this from subscribe. So not a big deal. If we go preview this, you can see that this is the GrooveMail form and this is the embed code. So just a couple of options there. I'm sticking with embed code at this point, unless somebody tells me there's a better option. You just showed, but the last part didn't go through. Again, tell me what you mean by the last part didn't go through. Where or how did you add the picture to the template? Okay, well, let's just go through that. So I'm going to go do new site. I am going to choose, this is the one I chose right here. This is the template that I chose. So here's an example for live stream. Of course, I was creating a very simple page. I deleted block 1, I deleted block 2, and this is pretty much what I used right here. So all of the other blocks I deleted. I won't go through all of those, and I'll just edit this. So build a 6-figure business. Right, I just changed that header. I said fill out the form to receive updates. Change that text. This right here is the form that came with it, and I would use that if I was going to integrate with MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, but I'm not using that. I'm using GrooveMail, so I just deleted that. And also, I don't have. Oops. Let's go delete the form as well. And also, I don't have an app, obviously, so I'm going to delete those. Go to the container they're in, delete that. All right, so now we have everything except the image needs to be changed. So I went configure, choose image, and I think I used this lady on the front page. Update. So this is basically ready to go, except it doesn't have the GrooveMail form. So that's where I went into GrooveMail. We'll copy the new one I just created. I went back here to elements, put code embed right here, paste what I got from GrooveMail, and this is the new form I just created. Remember, I did new header and changed this and so forth, but you can see that this is the form that's going to go there. If you want to preview it just to make sure, you can see that it's there. Now, by the way, that's a kind of a cool animation that came as part of the I'm gonna see if I can reload that. See how that slides in? That was part of the template. I didn't do anything to make that work that way. Okay, so that was page 1, and again, I deleted all of this stuff. All right, I'll stop deleting. And then I went to pages, and I edited the settings on this one to say 6-figure. I forget what I put in there. Business. And I checkmarked that to update it. And then I cloned it. And every now and then this happens. You probably see this. It just sits there like that. Basically what I do is just go back to the original page. And then I go to the page I copied and it's there, right? So then I got rid of the form. I changed this to say thank you. And, you know, we'll be in touch, whatever. Change the image, configure, choose image. I put this conversion gear and cog funnel in there. And there you go. That's the thank you page. The last thing I needed to do, these blocks are bothering me. The last thing I needed to do was go to that page and edit the settings and to say thank you as the page name and put thank you in as the URL. So that is how the form, that's how the funnel was created. All right, so now I'm ready to publish it. And so I go over here to publish. And I don't want to use the Groove Pages subdomain. I want to use my own domain and a subdomain. So you can do this with root domains. Let's go do this. Let's go manage domains. When you choose this custom domains right here on the right and manage, and then you add a domain and you choose full domain / subdomain setup. So that would be, you know, you're starting fresh. You're going to put everything you do basically is going to come from Groove. So for my example, it'd be www.yourbestgroove.com. Everything I do for that is in Groove, and I set that up in this way. When you set it up as a full domain subdomain setup, you can choose it over here. And so I'm going to do custom domain. I'm going to select yourbestgroove.com. I'm going to say I want it in a subdomain, and I'm going to select the subdomain. You can see it right there, sixfigures.yourbestgroove.com. So that's where this site is going to be published. But how did I do the subdomain? I'm glad you asked. So add new subdomain. So this is how you can do multiple funnels in multiple sites and publish them to multiple subdomains. So this said add new subdomain. I can say I do need another subdomain called workshop. So I'll just go ahead and create it here. Workshop.yourbestgroove.com. Add the subdomain, and then it becomes available. So I can publish right now to workshop.yourbestgroove.com, which I'm going to do. I'm going to hit publish. And this turns gray. By the way, when you publish, you got to give it some time till the green little button at the bottom shows up. Well, there we go. So site publish is in progress. Pretty much when that shows up, generally, you can go right to the site. So I'm going to go back here, click on this button that says go to the actual workshop.yourbestgroove.com. And voila, we have the new, you see it says new header, changed this. We have the new form and the new page. And if I put a new email address in there, it takes me to the thank you page. So that is how I created that funnel. You can see how quick it is to do that. Let me show you the domain process. And there are lots of videos out there for this, but we'll just go share. And I'm going to go to Groove Funnels. I'm going to go to Publish. By the way, if you want to manage domains without going through this and going to Publish, you can click on your profile over on the right, the little circle, and go to My Account and go to Domains. So to add a new domain, let's see what we got. Let me go find a domain in GoDaddy that use as an example today. Are you guys seeing my screen? I think you are. Okay, we're going to GoDaddy. Let's see, manage all. And you can see I have a bunch of domains. I grabbed up a bunch of Groove CM. When Groove said they were changing their name to Groove CM, I grabbed a bunch of domains to either use or sell. But let's go to Groove CM course. We're gonna make that one a Groove domain that we can use in Groove. So here's the domain. Here it is in GoDaddy. And I'm going to show you what happens. So I'm going to go to custom domains, manage. I'm going to add a domain, and this is going to be a full domain and subdomain setup, and do next. I'm going to do, what was it? What was it called? groovecmcourse.com. And I'm going to go next. All right. And then what it says is on your registrar. So whether that's GoDaddy or Namecheap or Bluehost, or I don't know, there's a bunch of registration businesses out there. You want to change your name servers. So this one, I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to go back over here to GoDaddy, and I'm going to manage DNS. And I am going to go to the name servers right here and change them. And I have to say, yes, I want to edit this. So the first one is going to be that one. I'm going to copy this one, change that one, and save. And GoDaddy gives you one more warning. Yes, I do want to update them. Continue. So now what happened is GoDaddy is saying, when you want to know more about this domain, go to these name servers, which are name servers actually in Cloudflare that Groove is using on the back end. By the way, ClickFunnels uses Cloudflare in the back end, and I imagine quite a few other systems do as well. So we do next, and that's all we have to do, except we need to validate the DNS records, which means Groove is going to check to make sure all of the connections are finished. So I'm going to do validate DNS record. It says it's checked. Please try again after 1 hour. Typically, you can do it in just 15 minutes or so. So we can't use it until it's verified, and we can come back and verify that at some other time. And I'm just going to see if it happens to be verifiable now. Yep, successfully verified the domain. So now the domain is in Groove. It's, as you can see, it's secure and connected. And we want to choose the primary, in other words, the root. When you go to www.groovecmcourse.com, do you want that to be Groove Pages? Do you want that to be Groove Member, which would be an online course, which in this case we might want to do? But what I'm going to do is choose Groove Pages. It's already selected. You can drop down and choose other things and say, that's what I want to use. So I would use that to set up a landing page for this course that is going to be created. And that would be a landing page funnel with upsells and all of that good stuff.